Gamers, fevers, burgers. Grab your snacks. The underdog, the legend in his own mind. Jaybeazt, dropping memes and bringing heat. Jaybeazt, streaming starting, pull up a seat. Breaking news, trailers dropped. I react and maybe sound a bit shocked. New game hype, I got the tea. Call of Duty, Battlefield, come watch me. Not a big shot, just starting out, but I'll hype your chat and hype my clout. My aim's kinda bad, my joke's kinda worse, but at least I never stream with rehearse. Jaybeazt, underdog with gamer streak. Jaybeazt, laughs, reacts, chaos you seek. Warning. Jaybeazt, you may mispronounce your favorite game. Please remain calm. Chat's alive, memes flying fast. I may fail, but it's always a blast. Subscriber hype, not just some friends, but the fun and chaos never ends. Reacting, chatting, sometimes I play, even if I die in the first 5 minutes. Hey, new game breakdown, I'll nerd out loud, making jokes, looking goofy, maybe proud. Jaybeazt, underdog, but bringing fire. Jaybeazt, lo-fi beats, memes, and satire. Who's in chat? Beast back. What's the game? Total snack. Level up? Maybe not yet, but we laugh, we hype, you won't forget. Achievements, sure, but I miss a lot. Glitches, bugs, rage quits I've caught. But while the pros are flexing loot, I'm here, underdog with style and cute. Streaming news, trailers, reactions too. Sometimes I even know what I'm doing, kinda true. Chat laughs, memes fly, and everyone's hyped. Welcome to Jaybeazt, the underdog is live tonight. Jaybeazt, underdog, chaotic streak. Jaybeazt, gaming news, laughs you seek. Not a pro but never weak. Caution, Jaybeazt may mispronounce your fake mispronounced game or make you laugh uncontrollably. Stream starting now. The fifth out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope you're having a good week. We've had a lot going on this week, actually. We started off as a kind of a quiet week, I thought, and so far, a lot happening. We got a patch fix for Battlefield 6, which is going great. I played a little bit last night, but I didn't actually play enough. But some of the annoying issues that we've had, some of the exploits that we had in some of the maps has been fixed. I'm happy to report, which is awesome. We also had Japanese state of play for PlayStation, which is also kind of cool, I guess. I don't know whether we ever had Japan exclusively state of play exclusively to Japan before, so that's new. That's very new. So yeah, so that happened, which is very cool. They announced a bunch of stuff in that one as well. I actually haven't tuned into it, to be completely honest with you, but it's something. One thing that got confirmed in that, though, is that we were kind of all speculating that there would be a region locked PlayStation that would be exclusive to Japan, that might be coming, and that got confirmed. So there's a region locked PlayStation coming to Japan, which is quite interesting. So yeah, sorry, I'm just opening up some stuff so we can talk about it. Just double checking if whether my chat works. Just double checking. I don't know. Okay. I'm just checking if my chat is working. It doesn't look like it's working. I always the whole software got updated, so I wasn't sure. Okay, okay. So I have to sign in again. Retail ID auto activate. Bruh. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. You're just gonna be having to stare at my screen until I fix this because it looks like it's hasn't fixed. Very annoying. Very annoying. Yeah. So I have a multi chat thing that's the plugin for OBS, which just got updated right before this stream started. I was trying to skip it, but it has a life of its own, and decided that nope, I'm just gonna do it. Sorry. So now it's not working for some reason. Now the chat is not working, so I'm gonna have to restart. Not the stream. So I'll keep you guys here, but I'm just gonna have to restart. Not restart. Remove group. Select live sources. Auto find and activate. Okay, stream settings. I'm gonna have to do this again. Jaybeazt. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this again. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Is this working? Ah, yeah. I think it worked. I think it worked. Let's do a trigger test. Yep, that's working. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so that's good. Then press activate and make sure that activate source. Okay, the source is activated. Very good. Okay, now activate source. Okay, testing. Oh, I have to sign into Kick. All right, cool. All right. Oh, okay. Somebody started following me. Darkness X. Oh, thanks for the follow. Chat GPT said after tonight. What? Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Not really sure. But yeah, thanks for the follow. I really do appreciate it. Okay, I also need to apparently sign into this. Okay, Twitch. All right, let's try this again. Jaybeazt Gaming. Twitch username already exists. Okay. Do I need to sign in? Login. Oh, I don't remember. I I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, let's try this one more time. Sorry, I know you guys are just staring at my face right now. But oh, what? No, that's not what I needed. Copy. Oh my god. Now it's sending codes to my email. I have to go to my email and accept the code. Okay. Okay, I think I'm in. I'm in. Is that I'm in? I think I'm in. All right. Cool. Sign window closed. All right. So, one more trigger test. Trigger fake message test to see everything's working. All right. I think. Yeah. Okay. I think it's all good. I think it's all good. All right. We can move on finally. Oh my god, that took a while. All right. Let's crack on. I got my coffee to go as well. More evening coffee. Be ready to crack on today. So, let's get back to the business at hand. Um, yeah, as I was saying, a whole lot of news today. So yeah, Japan state of play and announcement of a new PlayStation, which is cool. I think yeah, the PlayStation stuff was really PlayStation new console original look to Japan. I thought was really interesting. Um, yeah, and I didn't like I said I didn't really tune into the main event, but I checked what happened afterwards, and I checked on Insider Gaming article uh, where they kind of summarized the whole event, which I thought was good enough because, as you guys know, I'm not really into Japanese games a lot. There are exceptions, obviously, uh, but like manga type games or gacha games, I'm not really like a big player of any, those type of games. Or like what you know the typical games that Japanese demographics into. I'm not really into those, so I didn't really actively tune into that. But if you did, let me know if you enjoyed what you saw there. But yeah, over here on Insider Gaming, they did put out a fairly comprehensive article about it, and it was pretty much saying they like these are the stuff that got released. Dragon Quest 7 releasing February. I had to think what number that was for a second. Yeah, Dragon Quest new game announced, which is cool. In Konbini, one store, many store. Yeah, that Coffee Talk Tokyo. Don't know what that is. Yeah, this is a. I saw this trailer briefly. It's a horror game. Looks pretty okay. Not a big fan of horror titles, but it looked pretty good. This is all seems to be another horror title. Horror is big in Japan. Fatal Frame 2 remake is coming, which is cool. Dynasty Warriors Origins vision of 4 heroes, that's coming as well. Gran Turismo 7, Spec 3 and the Power Pack add-on releases on December 7. No sleep for Konami date. Yeah. Yeah, so and then there's a Pac-Man World 2 repack coming, Digimon Story, A whole lot of other Sonic stuff. Never Grave, the Witches. Yeah, I don't know what these are. Obviously, Blaze Blue, Entropy, Effect X, Damon and Baby is coming if you into that type of thing. I guess. Yeah, I'm not really like, oh, this might have been the highlight of the show because I saw a featurette about this game. It's been developed by a Japanese studio for the first time with Marvel IPs. Tokon. It's a fighting game. If I just play it, that's what this is. It's a fighting game set in the Marvel universe. So I guess it's not like Rivals. It's not like Marvel Rivals. It's like Mortal Kombat style fighting game, which is pretty cool. I like that they have done something like this because I don't think we've had something like this in a while. We had DC versus Capcom, but that's not Marvel. So Marvel's going using their IPs for a fighting game, which is pretty cool. I think this game looks pretty cool. It's got its own style. It didn't try to copy like MCU or anything. I quite like that. And yeah, it's looking pretty cool. I think for me, this was the highlight of the whole event. Other than that, I didn't really. Oh, and this Elden Ring Night Rain, the Forsaken DLC, Forsaken Hollows DLC was announced, and also PlayStation gaming monitor. I don't know who asked for this, but if you did, then you got it. It's a 27-inch QHD 240Hz monitor with built-in DualSense charger, and connected to a PS5. It supports up to 120 Hz. Yeah. It okay. Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, this is what I was talking about. A new Japanese language console for 55,000 yen, roughly 360 US dollars. PS5 digital edition. Yeah, no discs, just digital. Yeah, so that was pretty much the highlights from the State of Play Japan that was held yesterday. But yeah, and other than that, the other big news today that I woke up to is Valve has new hardware. As soon as I saw that, my jaw dropped because I did not expect Steam to be releasing new hardware. It's a pretty fun trailer too. They've done a cool announcement with it, so you wanna let's check it out together because we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. It was a pretty fun trailer.
Hey everyone, this is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library.
Oh, sorry. Let me change the screens.
Hey everyone, this is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere. We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All
At this
connected
point,
to
my
the
jaw
power of
completely
PC
dropped.
gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one.
Yeah, so I totally was not expecting
This is
A
the
new controller.
Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever and however you want. Just like with Steam Deck, we want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind. It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads.
Okay, okay. Look at this list, okay? Dual trackpads, awesome. That's straight out of the Steam Deck. HD haptics, gyro, grip buttons, full-size controls, CapSense thumbsticks,
gyro and back buttons,
Yeah.
all in
Yeah, and these are kind of pretty much standard. Steam Core shortcut. Yeah,
a comfortable form
yeah.
factor. Its next generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with
It's using magnetic thumbsticks, which is a huge game changer. I don't know much about it, but I know that it significantly reduces stick drift.
improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks,
And currently, as far as I know, neither Xbox or PlayStation DualSense are using those. This is why they have stick drift. I'm on my second PlayStation controller replacement already. Not fun.
and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime. With Steam Controller, we want to make charging and wireless pairing
Dude, a controller that lasts longer for more than a couple of hours that you don't have to recharge. Come on. Basic stuff.
something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again.
What an original and cool concept. I mean, I don't think this took a lot of brains to figure this out, that people needed something like this. But yeah. Come on.
You can play over Bluetooth
So
or a
cool.
wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a
No.
PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam machine.
Can I use this on a PS5, honestly?
Oh, this is the new Steam machine.
My jaw dropped when this started, this section. I was not expecting this. Dude.
Steam Machine is a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories. Steam Machine
Holy crap. So it's like it's a PC, but it's kind of like a hybrid PC and a console for your big TV. Isn't that what Xbox was trying to do? What are the chances that Xbox is gonna come out and be like, "This is an Xbox"?
Machine borrows some great features from Steam,
Oh,
Deck,
man.
like lightning fast
Oh, so it's running purely on Steam OS.
sleep and wake,
Fast, suspend, and resume. Oh,
And
hang on. Sorry, guys.
fast sleep and wake,
Yeah. Desktop mode, seamless updates, notifications, and Steam input. I mean, this is essentially a console that's running Windows. Oh, I'm sorry, Steam OS. It's a PC. It's a PC. Still built like a PC. Very simple, but it runs like a console.
an SD card slot to easily
You got SD card slots, Steam Store, cloud saves, the
expand your
and
storage,
remote play.
and bring some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want, and it works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in.
Okay, mind blown. Steam Machine is not locked into Steam OS. You can actually use it like a fully functional PC. How cool is that? How cool is that? So you can just run Windows or Linux on it if you want, and then just run Steam OS on top of that. No issue whatsoever. Okay, I mean, why don't other big companies don't do open ecosystems like that? Kind of makes you think, huh? Oh, very, very pro consumer, Steam. Very pro consumer. Loving it. Keep going.
And it's great for streaming your games. to your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep, this is Steam Frame. Steam Frame is Valve's next generation VR hardware. Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers,
That looks amazing.
included with the headset,
It's
are
just like
designed
a Vision
with all
Pro.
the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam Controller for
Yes.
responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam Controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running SteamOS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a micro SD card. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame.
Dude,
all built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam,
Let me hold
work
on.
together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is the culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026.
Early 2026.
Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Alright. I don't know if you realize how crazy that announcement was. They just dropped it like it was nothing in midweek. Like literally just dropped this like it was nothing in the middle of the week. And honestly, I think these hardware would be kind of a game changer and provide some heavy competition for Xbox and PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6 even. Because a Steam Deck is already overpowered. Like it's probably one of the most powerful handhelds out there right now, more powerful than a Nintendo Switch. And yeah, we're not getting a new Steam Deck just yet, but I think that's also probably on the horizon. But the fact that they have just announced a new controller that is pretty much every gamer's dream controller at this point, I think. I mean, it pretty much has everything that you need from a controller without any issues. It's got long battery life, it's got magnetic thumbsticks that you can, that wouldn't cause stick drift, and easy to charge, wireless charging, comes with a puck. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's a well balanced controller. How it feels on your hand, I don't know. But it looks pretty good, and it's based on the Steam Deck as well, which is fantastic. And the second surprise for me was the Steam Machine. I didn't think they would be putting out a new PC, Steam hardware PC, which is so cool. And it's a little compact little box, and I love that they call it a Steam Machine. Yeah, it's so cool that they put that out, and it's something more. Obviously, this is targeted for people who don't already own a PC, and to me, it feels like they're targeting the people who are thinking of buying a console, because this would be fantastic. It looks like a compact little PC that you don't have to do a lot of maintenance on, and it behaves like you can use it as a PC, but it behaves like a console. Running Steam OS, it got seamless updates. You don't have to worry about updating it all the time. it's pretty fantastic. And it's open ecosystem. So if you want to install another software and just get a full functionality over PC, you can do that, which is awesome. And it's what 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, which probably puts it at like a mid to high end, like somewhere in between PC, mid to high end PC. Probably not high end, maybe like mid PC, mid powered, but that's still pretty good enough, right? And you can also, you know, stream from your PC to the Steam Frame. Steam Frame was probably the biggest surprise for me. I just did not think they'll be putting out a VR headset this soon. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and it looks pretty good too. It looks amazing. It looks actually like a Vision Pro a little bit. And as soon as I saw this, my jaw dropped, and I wanted to know more. And it looks like IGN actually got the scoop. They got their hands on. They got their hands on the new console, like gaming PC, and also the Steam Frame as well. I haven't checked these videos. I just saved it because I wanted to watch it with you guys. So let's have a look what IGN says about these new hardware from Steam, which is, I think just the concept itself is fantastic. But knowing Steam, they're probably going to put out a good product. Not gonna lie, probably cost you a lot, but it'll be good.
Steam machines are back for the first.
Sorry. Here you go.
First time since Valve teamed up with manufacturers like Alienware and Lenovo back in the 2010s. But while those original console PC hybrids failed because the software wasn't quite there yet and there's a lack of an appetite for it, 2022's Steam Deck has paved the way for the Steam machine's return. This time around, instead of partnering with outside manufacturers, Valve is building and releasing a singular Steam machine with the goal of being able to run all current PC games. Let's jump into some of the technical stuff. Valve is aiming for any game available on Steam to run at 4K with upscaling techniques such as FSR. The secret behind this is an AMD RDNA 3 GPU with power roughly equivalent to an RTX 4060.
It's kind of like a mid-tier
mobile
PC.
graphics card.
Is that a lot?
That might be disappointing to anyone looking to max out everything at high resolutions, but it should have plenty of power while still being relatively affordable, we assume. Now, Valve hasn't announced anything on price yet, so we spent a day at Valve playing around with it, and while we haven't had the chance to run the usual gamut of gaming benchmarks, it looks like the new Steam machine might be a serious contender for your living room space.
Like I said, it's giving heavy competition to whatever's Xbox planning and whatever PlayStation got in the store for next console.
Seems a lot like the old Steam machine. They're both gaming PCs with a modest spec and meant to run games on Valve's own Linux-based SteamOS. But while the originals had trouble selling, mostly due to the high prices and a lack of Linux compatibility at the time, SteamOS has changed a lot over the last decade. The biggest part of that is Proton, Valve's compatibility layer that essentially translates Windows games to Linux, allowing you to play most of Steam's vast catalog of games on SteamOS, even if they don't officially support Linux. Anyone who's used the Steam Deck over the last few years will know that most games run seamlessly through SteamOS, sometimes even with performance that exceeds the equivalent Windows 11 machines, as we saw with the SteamOS version of the Lenovo Legion Go S. There are a few exceptions, notably some online multiplayer games with anti-cheat software that doesn't play nice with SteamOS, like Battlefield 6 and Destiny 2, but for the most part, if it's on Steam, it'll run on SteamOS. Valve let us play a variety of games on the new Steam machine, and it ran everything from Cyberpunk 2077 to Silent Hill F to Metal Gear Solid.
Cyberpunk 2077 at this point runs on everything, including a potato.
To balance performance. Of course, once we get the Steam machine in the lab, we'll be able to run a wider variety of games to see just how flexible it is, but for the time being, it does seem like most games will run. Luckily, Valve is also taking the Steam Deck Verify program and duplicating it for the Steam machine. Soon there will be 3 different verification badges, one each for the Steam Deck, Steam Machine, and the Steam Frame, which is Valve's new VR headset. Because the hardware isn't actually out yet, we're not sure how widespread this will be, but if Deck Verified is anything to go off of, you can expect a concerted effort.
Gabe Cube.
Now, the Steam Machine might be a gaming PC, but it doesn't really look like one. It's a tiny black box with a slim RGB light bar across the front, mostly meant to indicate that it's on. And
Looks
when I
like a
say
fat
it's tiny,
PS4.
I mean it. The PC is a cube that measures roughly 6-7 inches on each side and appears less than half the size of an Xbox Series X. It's actually closer to the size of a GameCube. The front panel is magnetic too and can be swapped out to customize the way the console looks. When we were at Valve, we saw a number of custom designs already. Valve hasn't confirmed whether or not it will be selling alternative front panels, but it'll release the 3D printing files so you can make your own, and you can expect third parties to hop on as well. Because this is ostensibly a desktop PC, there's a wealth of ports. On the front, you got 2 USB-A ports right there, and a micro SD slot if you want to expand your storage. And on the back, you get DisplayPort, HDMI 2.0, 2 extra USB-A ports, and a USB-C port, along with the power connector. And
I feel
Valve
like you
did open
need
up the
more
Steam Machine
USB-C
itself so we
ports.
can get a brief look at its internals. A bulk of the space is taken up by a giant heatsink, which has an exhaust fan at the back that sucks air through the front and bottom of the device and expels it through the rear to keep the device operating at a cool temperature. It's a bold design, especially considering that the Steam Machine's GPU is operating with a TDP of 110 to 130 watts. We'll have to wait and see how its thermals handle load when we get the system in for review early next year though. The bottom of the Steam Machine houses the SSD, which will come in either a 512GB or 2TB NVMe 2230 drive, depending on which version you buy. You can replace it, and unlike the Steam Deck, the SSD slot has space for a full-sized NVMe 2280 drive, which are both more affordable and easier to find. Don't get too hopeful about upgrading the device beyond the storage though. The rest of the components are soldered on and will not be upgradable. The new Steam Machine is one spec. That's a little disappointing, especially given Valve's history of letting its users do what they want with the hardware. However, this is how you get such a tight form factor like this.
I was gonna say.
Giving the Steam Machine's console like
I was gonna say, if you're gonna release your own PC and make sure that you run everything smoothly on it, you just gotta do what the consoles do. Even if it's a PC, you can't let people customize it however they want, other than storage components. Because the moment you start letting people change everything out, swap everything out, it becomes a little too harder to control. Maintenance of it, updates and everything. Because remember, what they have said is this is more like it's a gaming PC that acts like a console, which means they will be pushing out seamless updates and everything. If they are to do that, they need to know what's in the box. If it's different in every household, they just won't be able to control it the way that you expect it to. So I think it's the right call they made, and also in order to keep the price tag in a stable as well, and you have to also keep it low. So I think what they've done is they basically made a console in the same architecture as a PC. And yeah, interesting.
qualities, it will likely appeal to most people who just want a plug-and-play gaming device. For them, I suspect the lack of upgradability will be a non-issue, at least until it starts showing its age years down the line. The Steam Machine will also be available with the new Steam controller.
This is what I said as well, like before. Like, this is not for hardcore gamers. This is not really aimed at for people who are looking to buy a new PC so you get into like hardcore PC gaming. I don't think that's the point of this. The point of this is for more casual gamers or even console gamers to make that jump to PC. This would be a good entry point because it's a PC that acts like a console that's not a console. It has an open ecosystem, so it actually lets you do whatever you want with it. That's the perfect entry point, and Steam is smart to figure this out and actually jump on this now before anybody else, because it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And because they are using one spec for the machine, they're going to keep those prices low. Based on the specs that they've shown just before, it looks to be a pretty mid-tier PC, which would be quite affordable for most people.
Or without one. Whether or not you get the Steam Machine bundled with the new controller The system will have the controller's wireless receiver built in, so you don't have to worry about always having a USB port available occupied by a little dongle.
That's cool.
This new Steam machine is powered by a custom chip made by AMD and Valve with an RDNA 3 GPU and 28 compute units and a TDP between 110 and 130 watts, which would place it roughly around a mobile RX 7600. And this is paired with a 6-core Zen 4 CPU with a TDP of around 30 watts. But despite the modest specs, the Steam machine seems to be a capable gaming PC. We played Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K with ultra preset settings and FSR set to performance, and the action stayed playable. We even went to the settings menu and turned on ray tracing, and performance seemed to stay solid. Although we didn't have a frame counter up for Cyberpunk, I did get more granular with Metal Gear Solid Delta. It being an Unreal Engine 5 game, mileage
I do have a problem with people always using Cyberpunk as a benchmark to test their test things, because yeah, Cyberpunk was one of the most poorly optimized games when it launched, but I think as of right now this game can run on potato because they have optimized the shit out of this game now. It literally is probably one of the most optimized games out there that can run on anything. Like literally, no matter what your specs are, you can get Cyberpunk to run on your system. That's just how it's running on Switch too. So yeah, yeah. Try a different game that is poorly optimized, like Borderlands 4 or something. See if how well that runs, and that'll give you an idea how much the PC can handle, I think. But you know, it can run Cyberpunk. That's good.
will vary, but I found a good middle ground with 1440p, balanced FSR, and high quality settings, and getting 60 FPS at times and dipping to around the 40s at others. Things were slightly different with Silent Hill F though. After a lengthy process of installing the shaders, something every game seems to need to do these days, it defaulted to ultra settings at 4K with TSR, or Temporal Super Resolution, instead of AMD's FSR. At these settings, Silent Hill struggled, chugging along at what seemed to be 15 to 20 FPS. Not exactly what I'd call playable.
Yeah, that looks
After
horrible.
adjusting the settings down to medium at 1440p with FSR enabled, things felt much better, but this just highlights that the Steam machine is still a gaming PC at the end of the day, for better and worse.
Yep.
Tweaking settings to optimize performance is a time-honored tradition among PC gamers, but again,
Correct.
might be less appealing to
Yeah, this is something. If you're buying a PC, you're just gonna have to deal with it. If you're buying a PC, whether you buy this PC or something else, you're just gonna have to take care of your PC. One thing, it's not set and forget like a console is. Unfortunately, you have to clean it up and make sure that components work every now and then. The other thing is, you don't have the luxury of starting a game and just jumping straight in like you do with a console. Consoles, because it's designed for one spec, you just don't have to worry about it because the whole game is actually designed for that machine. So you just pop it in and then you play it. But for PC, every person has a different type of PC with different specs. So you literally have to go into settings in each game and then tweak everything and make sure that, like, figure out what the best result for you is, and the frame rates and the graphical settings and everything before you jump in. That, I mean, I quite love doing that. I love just messing around with the settings and figuring it out before doing. I literally like taking my time tweaking it out. I know some may not, but if you're not the type of person to enjoy that, probably a PC is not for you, unfortunately, because it is something you'll have to do. Otherwise, if you just ignore the settings and you just go into the game, it might actually work most of the time, but it will be poorly optimized for your PC and it'll probably run like crap, even though, you know, it could be running better. That's just how it is.
people who just want a plug-and-play gaming experience. Valve says it intends for the Steam machine to be able to play all current games at 4K with FSR upscaling, but there are going to be plenty of games, especially ones running on Unreal Engine 5, where you'll have to lower settings to get it running at a smooth frame rate. If
Correct.
anything, it has us eager to benchmark it to see exactly what it'll be capable of. The compromises you'll have to make on quality settings will vary between games, but it appears things will at least run. It's likely that over time developers will be able to sense the Steam machine's hardware and account for appropriate presets. After all, many games do that already with the Steam Deck, and hopefully the Steam Machine gets the same treatment. If it does though, this thing could be a serious contender in the next generation of consoles, especially as the next Xbox looks increasingly PC-like.
Like I said, who is
According
this
to
for?
Valve, about 20% of its Steam Deck users use the official dock to connect their handheld to the TV. That might not seem like a lot, but given that Valve has shipped millions of Steam Decks, a first-generation product mind you, 20% is not an insignificant number of people. However, there
Yeah.
are limitations to running a Steam Deck on a TV. Chief among them is performance. While
Yep.
the Steam Deck is powerful enough for running PC games on its 800p display, it can't really handle higher resolutions very well, especially when you're connected to a 4K TV.
Yeah.
The Steam Machine then is the answer. This is a living room gaming PC that should be able to play most games at 4K, assuming you're okay with upscaling from like 1080p or 1440p for more demanding stuff, which is increasingly common in the PC gaming space anyway. And while the Steam
Yeah.
Machine will have to
I hate
compete
it.
with
I
similarly spec'd
absolutely hate
PCs
it.
that can be upgraded, this isn't
But
really
here we are.
intended for the do-it-yourself hardware enthusiast. Rather, this feels more like a PC for console gamers. You know, people who didn't play games on PC until the Steam Deck hit the market, or those who just want simplicity. It runs the same
Yeah.
operating system and has the same library, only it'll be able to play games at much higher settings. Valve claims the Steam Machine is up to 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, so it should avoid situations like Baldur's Gate 3, where the second you load into Act 3 on the handheld, your frame rate slows to a crawl. So if the Steam Deck made you flirt with the idea of PC gaming, the Steam Machine looks like it'll be the next logical step for you, especially as games get increasingly more demanding. For everyone else who already has a gaming PC, at least Steam as a platform is evolving.
Yeah. In this,
It's impossible to talk about PC hardware in 2025 without bringing up price. Devices from the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X in October to the RTX 5080 back in January have all launched with significantly higher prices
Yeah,
compared
crazy.
to what they would have been in previous years. Console pricing hasn't fared much better as the Switch 2 hit store shelves at $150 more than its predecessor, while the PS5 and the Xbox Series X have both faced price hikes within the last year.
yeah.
Valve hasn't shared pricing for the Steam
How how funny is this? I know they both put up their prices, but how is it that Xbox costs $650, a whole $100 more than a PS5? That is crazy to me.
pricing for the Steam Machine yet, but they did.
They
tell
didn't
us
even
that
roll
it'll
that
be
back. They
competitively
stuck it
priced
out.
with similarly spec'd gaming PCs. Keeping in mind that this is running a last generation GPU and processor, it could mean that pricing might end up being relatively reasonable, but we just won't know until Valve decides to share more. And we'll definitely cover that when the time comes. But the hope is that Valve keeps the Steam Machine under $1,000, hopefully. If it wants to compete with Xbox's and PlayStation space in the living room, it'll have to. For more on what Valve has cooking up in the hardware space, be sure to check out our hands-on previews of
Okay, so like I said, like I suspected, it looks like a competition for consoles, especially next generation consoles, what they're doing here. And obviously targeted at people who want the simplicity of a console but don't want to go full PC hardcore master race, you know? I think for those type of people who are looking to buy a reasonable gaming machine but yet don't want to be stuck into an ecosystem like a PS5 or an Xbox and need to have an ecosystem that's open but also doesn't cost you an arm and leg and runs everything, this would be the perfect candidate because it can run anything because it's open ecosystem, which means you can literally download anything you like on the machine and play it. It's not locked into Steam OS either. You can technically download anything else that's not even part of Steam OS and then run it normally like you do on a normal PC. So you will have multiple access points, not just Steam. You can actually, if you have an existing library on Epic Game Store or GOG, or Amazon Prime or like all the other stuff or any other library, Xbox, PC Game Pass, I think you should be able to access that on here too. If it's running on Windows, if you make it run on Windows, I think, yeah, then you can pretty much run anything you want on it. You're not locked into anything, which is so cool. Which can't be said about the consoles like PS5 or PS6, which is the next console, or whatever the next Xbox gonna be. They, even though Xbox have said that it's gonna be more like a hybrid PC console, kind of like this. Um, they're probably gonna be locked into the Xbox store, um, but it seems like it's not the case here. So this might be the best option in that case. It's still probably more powerful than probably going to be more powerful than a PS5. I reckon. I don't know. I don't really know. It looks to be mid. Uh, but the thing downside, like I said before, is because ultimately it is a PC. You're still gonna have to mess with the settings to figure out, what's the best setting for your for the PC for each game, because the games will not come pre-calibrated for the machine. If it does, that would be actually quite awesome because, like, la, I don't actually know because the guy didn't mention on the video, but if the Steam machine's gonna be one spec, eventually the devs might be able to just pre-calibrate everything to a Steam machine verified setting, like they do with Steam Deck. Um, if they do that, that will be even better because then it'll be like just like a console. You don't even have to mess with the settings anymore. You just get the Steam. If you get Steam machine verified games on the Steam machine, that means you don't even have to mess with the settings. They come pre-calibrated. That would be awesome. Yeah, yeah. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the Steam frame, because the Steam frame is probably the one that excited me the most because it was so unexpected. It was so unexpected. And I think out of the three pieces of hardware they announced, the most impressive has been for me is Steam frame, and would be the most applicable to most people because this probably gains interest from existing PC users as well, not just people who are looking to buy a PC. So this, and it seems like it's doing a lot of the things right that other gaming VR headsets didn't get right, including Sony's VR headset, Meta Quest, maybe that as well. This first hands-on impressions uh, posted on IGN that I want to check it out and see what Valve's new VR headset can or cannot do.
I know what you're probably thinking. Why put out a VR headset in 2026? Big hit VR games have been few and far between in recent years, but Valve is convinced that there's still an appetite for VR, especially if it can make a headset that combines the best of what headsets offer today and innovate in key areas. That's where the Steam Frame comes in, a successor to the Valve Index that came out in 2019. Along with the new Steam Machine and Steam Controller, I was able to use the upcoming Steam Frame when I visited Valve last month, and it is genuinely impressive tech that I wish came out a lot sooner.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't think that the appetite for VR games has gone away. I think what's happened is people are kind of sick of the products that currently exist within the VR ecosystem. We have advanced a lot since like the first ever VR, like especially like PS4 VR headset. Do you remember how like janky that was? But we have come a long way. But the thing is, most of these VR headsets are kind of bulky. They like heavy on your head. You still have to wear like wires and like battery packs and all that, which can be quite annoying. Um, it's still not a perfected tech. It's still like, even though we have come a long way, VR is still VR and also AR. Both I feel like very early in its generation. It needs to make more jumps in the generations and become more improved before people can really embrace it as an everyday tech. I just don't think we're there yet. I don't think people are sick of it because like the appetite has gone away. I just think people are kind of waiting for it to improve more and become a thing that is first more affordable, because most VR headsets are freaking expensive, and most of them has are mostly accessories that you need a dedicated PC or a console to work with. The VR headset for PlayStation VR 2, you need a PS5 to work with. If it doesn't work on itself, there are some exceptions like Meta Quest and stuff, but and the Meta, it's not really that powerful, right? It can handle some games, but yeah, I think that's where people are at. So people are really waiting for something that really works in terms of gaming, VR gaming. There's not really the perfect candidate hasn't emerged yet. So I think still Steam Frame is trying to capture that market, trying to capture the things that have been missing from VR gaming in terms of like what the consumer needed, what the consumer comfortable with, and like what you need as a gamer as well. So I think they put a lot of thought into this. Let's keep going because I think it is fantastic. It has a really good, really great potential to work as a great VR headset.
I'll start with a few of the basic tech specs. The Steam Frame can be used as a standalone device like the Meta Quest 3, as it's powered by a 4nm Snapdragon ARM processor and 16GB of RAM. It'll be available in 256GB and 1TB UFS storage options, and there's also a micro SD slot for expansion. Its pancake optics put out 2160 by 2160 resolution per eye and can do between 72Hz to 120Hz refresh rate with an experimental 144Hz. And its FOV goes up to 110 degrees. The Steam Frame does inside-out tracking via 4 outward-facing cameras with IR illuminators for dark environments and 2 interior cameras for eye tracking. There's no need for lighthouse sensors anymore, as external VR sensors are officially a thing of the past. However, the biggest innovation here is in its wireless tethering tech. The Steam Frame comes with a USB receiver that connects the headset to a PC wirelessly through a super low latency 6 GHz signal. This lets you wield the power of your PC without cables tying you to it and without any jarring lag that'd make you sick. I tested this myself playing about 15 minutes of Half-Life Alyx on the Steam Frame, and just anecdotally, it ran flawlessly. Of course, this was under perfect conditions, but movement tracking, gesturing with the controls, and image quality were all on point, living up to my memory of playing it on the Index via a wired connection when I reviewed it back in 2020. And with Wi-Fi 7, it'll work simultaneously when connected to the internet without interference. Because of the bandwidth and the speed afforded by 6 GHz wireless signals, Valve is able to wield a new technique called foveated streaming. With eye tracking, the headset is able to recognize where you're looking and immediately focus resources there for optimal image quality and the highest resolution to the visible area.
That is crazy.
It's a similar idea to foveated rendering, where the game itself will dedicate your system's resources to better handle the load for performance and graphics. But with foveated streaming, it's happening at the hardware level, so it's not something developers need to worry about implementing themselves. Either way, it's key to understand that this is not necessarily affecting core performance. Rather, it's to ensure that the wireless feed stays lag-free and looking its best.
That's cool. Dude, that's so cool. The fact that you don't need any hooking up with wires.
Fast wireless connectivity, along with the power of a proper gaming PC, this makes for the ideal VR experience. But that's not all the Steam Frame excels at. It's fairly lightweight overall, and its weight distribution makes it feel like a natural extension of yourself rather than a front-loaded brick that's strapped to my head. Its battery is actually on the rear of the head strap, so it's more balanced than other VR headsets I've used, and if you need to plug in, the USB port is also on the back, so the cable stays out of your way. The padding around the headset is plushy and was comfortable in the short time that I used it, and the strap was easily adjustable to get the right fit. The Steam Frame also runs on SteamOS natively, so you get the same interface and quality of life features as you would on the Steam Deck or the upcoming Steam Machine, including the advantage of Proton. But I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the virtual theater experience when using the Steam Frame. Like other VR headsets, you're able to play non-VR games inside of it through a fake TV that SteamOS projects within the headset's virtual space. And on the frame, it looked really crisp. I played about 10 minutes of Hades 2 at 4K with the virtual screen blown up to its maximum size, like having an 100-inch TV I didn't have to buy or fit into my living room space.
That
This
is
kind
cool.
of experience isn't new, I know, but the seamless integration through SteamOS also makes it very easy to use, and the
Yeah.
super fast wireless tech means you can play PC games with the full strength of your system at low latency. I did
What's impressive is the fact that it's happening all wirelessly. And the fact that you can actually play bulk of games natively on the VR headset is also cool. But if you want to play like more graphic heavy games, you can wirelessly connect to your PC. And then that, it comes with a dongle that, has a Wi-Fi 6 receiver, which makes it a really fast and lag-free, almost low latency streaming, which is awesome. This is what was missing, and these were the pain points of VR gaming. And although not completely, they have managed to mostly eliminate these issues. And also the fact that it's actually well balanced on your head. The weight distribution seems to be mostly a non-issue now. Fantastic. I think this is what was missing. And we're probably going to see these improvements across the next generation of VR headsets. That'll probably come out with the next generation of consoles as well. And yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction for VR gaming, and probably probably get people interested again in VR gaming. Don't know how much it is. If it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, that would be awesome.
I did notice a bit of stuttering at times with the image rendering, similar to how screen tearing looks, but further testing in the future has me curious about how reliable it's going to be. While Valve is intending the Steam Frame to be primarily used with the wireless tether for robust VR experiences, the internal hardware is decent enough for certain games. I played the puzzle adventure game Ghost Town, and while it ran smoothly, it was visually a bit muddy, which speaks to the competent but modest power of the Snapdragon ARM processor. But the ARM compatibility is impressive for running less demanding stuff. To be clear though, don't expect Half-Life Alyx to be playable straight off of the internals of the Steam Frame. The new frame controllers are also an evolution of the excellent Index controllers, including capacitive touch sensors for recognizing hand gestures and the grip of your fingers. The battery slots are placed so as to not get in the way of this, as they need one AA battery each and should last for about 40 hours of use. They feature the TMR magnetic sticks and HD haptics you see on the new Steam controller, and have all the features you would come to expect from a traditional gamepad to create this parity across all sorts of games. The NX controllers were bulky for sure, but I do miss how their strap pad design latched onto my hands to feel like they're in tune with VR itself. Conversely, the frames use a more standard wrist strap design, which feels less of an extension of my hands, but makes them more versatile as controllers. Lastly, I should mention the built-in speakers, which sounded solid and are cleverly tucked into the head strap, as is the integrated microphone. Unlike the Index, they're not actual off-ear headphones, but instead integrated into the headband like you see on the Quest 3, which creates a sort of bubble of sound around your head. Now, when looking at the big picture, the Steam Frame is one piece of a larger Steam ecosystem that Valve has established and will keep growing. There's a console-like PC in the Steam Machine, a new state-of-the-art Steam controller, the very successful Steam Deck handheld, and now a smartly designed VR headset. Valve is furthering its claim in PC gaming with all of these devices hitting market, while having SteamOS and Proton mature enough to position itself as a serious gaming platform holder.
Yeah.
But the Frame in particular begs the question of where VR gaming is today and where it might be going in the future. As someone who got in on it on day one, reviewing the original HTC Vive and Oculus Rift back in 2016, and keeping up since then, I'm a little perplexed by the state of VR games, especially with something technically great as the PSVR 2 getting very mild software support. I thought Half-Life Alyx set a bar so high that others would try to reach,
He does
with the
have a
hope
point.
of getting a wave of great new VR games in the process, but such wasn't really the case. That's not to say that there are noteworthy games that have come out since then, such as Asgard's Wrath 2, but it's remained a niche in the years since. And perhaps Valve is fine with that, so long as it has the go-to piece of hardware for that niche. Hardware lives or dies by its price though, and like the Steam Machine, Valve doesn't have anything to share quite yet. For reference, a 512GB MetaQuest 3 goes for $500 at regular price as of now, so the Steam frame will have to at least compete in that range. We'll know
Yeah.
for certain when we get closer to its early 2026 release, and when we find out, you'll definitely hear it from us first. If you need the lowdown on all of Valve's newly announced hardware,
Yeah, so I think the biggest issue that VR gaming has right now is probably the fact that most of these VR headset comes tied in needing support from a dedicated PC. If you want to play like more graphically intensive games, which is where really the fun is, especially when it comes to VR games. Let's face it. But that's, I think, the issue most people would have, I think, because the like right now a console is very expensive. Also, a PC is definitely more expensive, and you need that if you just want to play VR games, right? Um, there are some exceptions to this, obviously, but even then, like the VR headset themselves, like if you want to get like really quality one, it's gonna cost you a lot, and still gonna need a dedicated PC to work with it. So all these issues, even the PlayStation VR2, you need PS5 to work with it. So it's really a big pain point, and I think kind of a deal breaker for most people who are interested in it. So most people who buy a console just happy to play games on it, even though you might like to try VR and then some VR games. One thing, you don't have enough support, like this guy mentioned. It is true. You don't really get a lot of options. VR gaming, well, there's not a lot of VR games. That's another thing. And yeah, you need to fork out another couple of $1,000 to get it, Australian dollars, to have access to a good quality VR headset, and then a console or a PC on top of that to make it work. So, which is really, I think, the issue, and why it hasn't taken off the way people had hoped that it would. But I think this is again a step in the right direction for VR gaming, but still there are still a lot of pain points of pain points there that hasn't really completely been addressed. But I think eventually, if you can get it to a point where you can have VR headsets that can run games natively without having to need a separate machine, that would then entice a lot of people to buy into VR gaming. And then that market would really take off. But other than that, everything else about VR gaming has actually come to a pretty good standard in terms of like the resolution, especially with the Steam frame, as they suggest. The weight distribution is great on it. The battery power, all that. I mean, that could be improved, but it's pretty manageable. All those things, controls, eye tracking, all that stuff, sensor movements and all that, the sensor tracking, they're all improved, and I think they're in a pretty solid place right now. It's just the fact that the graphical needs required to play these games natively on a headset is missing still, and we're still not there yet. Still not there yet. I think that those graphic cards need to get bigger. Needs to get smaller and manageable on a VR headset in order to make this happen. We'll get there. We're just not there yet. But yeah, what do you guys think about this whole the Steam machines, man? They just dropped out of nowhere and then kind of made a wave yesterday, and today. Everyone's kind of talking about it right now, and I think there are serious contenders for next generation gaming hardware, and it's already coming next year, which is fantastic, which is kind of insane. It's kind of intense as well, because they're kind of dropping this like out of nowhere, and it's gonna come out before GTA 6, bro. Like, we're gonna get new Steam hardware before GTA 6. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, all right. We have Call of Duty dropping in less than like 4 hours, I think. I preloaded the game. I've already downloaded it because I have access to it on Game Pass. Um, I think it's got a the like a time counter on it as well. When I went on it and I checked and it said 5 hours. Like holy shit, yeah, 4 hours and hang on, 3 hours and 38 minutes. That's when it's dropping in 3 hours. So this is dropping as right at 12 midnight. So yeah, I might drop in straight up at 12 tonight and then do a bit of a stream. You guys can tune into that. I'll do a stream on Twitch and Kick, so tune in there. Probably won't be doing one on YouTube though. But yeah, you can tune in me on those platforms if you're interested. And also the another thing that's dropping is where winds meet. It's already had reviews from IG. Sorry. Where winds meet, if you don't know what we're talking about, is a free-to-play open world game that's coming out tomorrow, and I think it's a Chinese developed game. It's published by NetEase. We all know who those are, who that is. My God, I forgot to English. Yeah, so Where Winds Meet is officially dropping tomorrow in both PC and consoles.
Blissful retreat.
And this is the new official gameplay trailer. We have seen plenty of gameplay, but it's got a lot going on. I'm just keen to download it and check it out.
All those loving neighbors, adorable little friends.
It's an open world action adventure game that's free to play. Everything that's only thing that's monetized is cosmetics. If you want to get like cool crazy cosmetics, you have to pay for those, but you can still have like in-game loot. And there's over 150 hours of content.
Every minute of it. Streets humming with crowds. Serene palaces towering
It looks
above,
great.
and thousands of people with their own stories to tell.
Yeah. So I'll definitely be playing this. Some people, I'm getting mixed reviews everywhere. Some people are liking it, some people are not really digging it that much. But it's got a lot going on for it. I'll tell you that. It's got a lot going on for it.
Street fights.
So it might be a little too overwhelming for most people. But it's free. So I would say check it out. Why not?
Wall strike.
Don't give it a pass. Check it out and see if you like it.
From afar. You'd want to master these tricks. Rob the rich. Rob the rich. Rob
I love how they're robbing.
Well, arrests happen to the best of us. Occupational hazard, really. Paralyze your enemies mid-chase. Or let Tai Chi turn their strength.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like you get to play bowling with bears here too.
Or just yell
Wow.
really, really loud. These skills might just save your life. And be your key to becoming a legend. This is a vast
A
world.
lot going on, dude.
But the real heroes
And apparently the open world is
always
massive.
find each other.
Massive. Absolutely massive.
The winds are calling. Will you answer?
Yeah. Looks to be a crazy ass game, and I'm definitely gonna check it out. I would say to give it a go and see if you like it before you decide if it's for you or not. Yeah, because yeah, I'm getting mixed reviews from a lot of places. Some people are saying that it's all right, it's pretty all right, whatever. Some people actually like really excited to play it and saying that it's fantastic. IGN, however, I don't know what they said. I think they gave it a 6. So I wanted to check out their review. So let's check out IGN's review about Where Winds Meet and what they say. This, mind you, has been already out in the East already for some time. This is not like completely new drop. This has been out in the West, in the East, in Japan, in China, I think, and it's doing really well over there. So the, it's only just coming to the West just now. That's why. That's the only thing. So this is already a successful game in the East, and that's just it, right? This is very clearly designed for Eastern audience. You can tell that by looking at the gameplay. It's got a lot going on. It's got like DNA from Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, Dynasty Warriors, Rise of the Ronin, if you remember that game. What else? Like it's got a little bit of everything. It's got puzzles. It's got a little bit of gacha. It's got gacha style elements to it too. So it's a little bit of everything, and it is a free to play game. So you can see some of the shortcomings there as well, but they're not deal breakers. They're not deal breakers, and it's not the good thing about it is it's not a pay to win game. It's bare bones open world action adventure game that you have access to everything, and you earn loot by grinding through things in the game, and there's over 150 hours of content. However, if you want to look cooler than everybody else or whatever, you can get crazy cosmetics that you can pay for. But still, you still can earn in-game cosmetics as you grind through the game too. Those will be earnable within the game, but there are additional stuff that you can pay to get, which doesn't affect your gameplay. So it's not pay to win, which is fantastic. So I think it's worth giving your attention to and checking it out and seeing whether it's something that you like before you just completely dismissing it. So okay, let's look at IGN's review.
Where Winds Meet is an ambitious exercise in maximalism. Its sprawling world is a vibrant wuxia love letter filled with over-the-top characters who can practically fly through the air, grand odes to the beauty of the natural world, and the dark political sorcery that threatens all of that on a daily basis.
And we'll do it this way. Yeah, I see. Yes, good idea.
Combat is a steady, enjoyable ebb and flow that is full of style and substance, but at a slower pace than you might think from just watching it. The collage of the stories it tells, both the main saga and the innumerable side fables, are a turbulent gust of ups and downs both thematically and in quality. But unfortunately, the journey to experience it all is pocked by the steep cliffs of jarring late-game progression pacing and rocky valleys jagged with dizzying amounts of micromanagement that turns the very idea of interacting with its RPG systems into stone.
Okay. I gotta play it before I agree or disagree
The
with
fictional
him.
version of 10th century China Where Winds Meet is set in is a politically broken place, where powerful clans fight to divvy up the region, both with open warfare and subterfuge. It's the perfect backdrop for you, an orphan raised by a working-class winemaker that's just itching to leave the humble life behind in search of adventure and purpose. The tale that sends you to lavish palaces, haunted caves, and dank dungeons is run-of-the-mill, with a handful of memorable moments that would be moving, but they are often undone by some pretty awful English localization that makes exchanges between characters dense with redundant sentences and turns of phrase that don't really make any sense.
All change daily and never a one missing.
It's also plagued by weird technical issues.
You know, this is why I like to play games like these, especially games made in the East, in their native language, because I feel like that's a better experience than trying to do English. Like Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotes are exceptions, because those are Western-made games set in the East, and their English dubbing is pretty spot on. Voice acting is pretty spot on. Even their West Eastern voice acting is pretty good actually. They're really well done. But this is a free to play game. Like you really can't be nitpicking too much about it. But yeah, for Eastern games, I like to go with the even with the TV shows, I like to watch it in native tongue rather than the English dubs, because I feel like just having the subtitles and have the authentic voices um, native to the setting really helps the immersion, and also like you won't get those weird um, sentences that doesn't make sense. That kind of issues, we eliminate those issues that way. Just how I play.
Voice lines
Just
running
saying.
over one another, subtitles not matching the words coming from characters' mouths, or voices
You don't
going
have that.
missing entirely.
Uncle Gong said he's bringing me a new storybook.
Can you wait for me just a little? I need to go inside and check something.
With some diversions into side quests and minigame dabbling, the main campaign's 2 chapters took me roughly 30 to 40 hours to complete. And while they each button up their own isolated stories well, it leaves the journey of your wanderer on a rather unsatisfying cliffhanger.
Come on, let's go!
The various side stories have the same uneven quality. On the whole, the best of them are better written and far more interesting than the main campaign. One story had me leading ghosts to the afterlife after the violent fall of their Buddhist commune.
Should father be home by now?
Another starts with me sneaking a nobleman out of his mansion because he doesn't want to commit to an arranged marriage. There's a spontaneity to these stories that you don't really see in RPGs like this, but they are also sullied with way more of the technical blemishes. True to its inspiration, the combat in Where Winds Meet is flashy and energetic. Each of the 7 weapons feels distinct and dangerous, and some have different styles to discover that change the patterns of your attacks, as well as the weapon skills you can unleash on your enemies. You can equip 2 at a time, but I spent almost all of my playthrough as a tank, with a spear and a glaive that would buff each other when I used specific abilities in certain combinations. Though, that's partially because it's often a real pain in the ass to find alternatives worth using. All of the ability chaining and buff management makes Where Winds Meet feel much more like an MMO than an action game. It's
Yeah.
faster paced than the genre might typically be known for, but this combat doesn't share any of the sensibilities of a Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry. There's no bouncing enemies or air juggles, nary an air combo or wall splat, just a lot of stun meter management and weaving attacks and abilities into specific sequence.
Yeah, I didn't think this would play in the same style as Devil May
But
Cry
Tech
or
was
Ninja
right at
Gaiden.
home to me
Didn't look that
as a
way to
lapsed
me.
MMO guy. Managing when
Okay, I think he had some kind of a misaligned expectation there a little bit in terms of combat. The combat that I have seen reminded me a lot of Rise of the Ronin Team Ninja games, not Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden. Those are much more fast-paced and like heavily focused on combo attacks.
to defend and when to go
Didn't
all
think
out
it was the
felt
same.
almost identical to a Dark Knight in Final Fantasy XIV, except with an active block, parry, and dodge. These tools do help break up the sort of autopilot syndrome of many MMO battles, especially the parry, which becomes so important that there's even an auto parry system you can toggle on and off that gives you regenerating resources called insight points to spend as get out of jail free cards when an incoming attack is about to land. This was a great system for me to play around with early on, and I still appreciate it as a clever way to blunt some of the difficulty spikes for people who need it. The MMO but rowdier combat shined the most against groups of regular enemies. I'd still get to apply my beat-em-up flowchart of finding and eliminating the scariest enemy of the group while navigating the threats of all the other lower-tier henchmen, but keeping my attack loop going and buffs topped off while doing so added an extra layer of tactics that really created a flow state I don't usually get from games like this. Of course, these enemies aren't very diverse, largely the same types of guys in different faction garb, with a special gang-specific unit to spice it up.
Okay.
Ironically, I think the flaws of this amalgam is most evident against bosses, where things really just get reduced down to a rinse-repeat cycle of parrying and dodging attacks, counterattacking, avoiding big telegraph blows, and so on. Most bosses are just super thugs with greater health and damage than the guys like them that you've encountered in the field. The occasional big spectacle boss can shake things up, but even that tier of baddies is hit or miss. Chinese lion dancers in a full connected costume that hops on beams and shoots fireworks at you? Hit. A late chapter 1 boss that seems to be attempting to recall Sekiro's Lady Butterfly fight from memory? Miss.
Okay.
The vast open world is overflowing with things to find and do when your adventure begins. Especially early on, I was pretty regularly surprised by some of the mostly silly things I stumbled across, like a bear practicing Tai Chi. But that's not simply there for a chuckle. You can actually spy on it and, through careful study, learn Tai Chi too. With it, I could then channel the power of the wind to yeet this very bear into some nearby rocks.
That is funny.
General Shrine.
When time permitted, I always stepped aside to try to use my mystic arts to solve puzzles in the wild. Where Windsmeet's big problem, though, is that it's filled wall to wall with other activities that come nowhere close to this sort of ingenuity. There are some jobs you can pick up that make a good first impression, like a healing minigame that turns curing diseases or setting broken bones into a card battler.
Oh.
But that doesn't evolve much and doesn't really reward you meaningfully as you progress up the ranks. Most everything else are versions of the sorts of things you'll see in any open world RPG like this, none of which change the well-worn formula of these distractions in a way that make checking each one out more than a couple of times feel worth the trip. And that's despite the fact that they all dump a bunch of loot on you every time you succeed. Just about everything you do in this game does, but very little of what you're given is even worth opening your inventory to take a second look at. It's not that it's all worthless. Chances are it's going to include potions or food items that are going to be auto-used when necessary, or the various crafting and upgrade materials that will
Okay,
wait
so the game has a
patiently in
loot
your pockets
problem.
for when you occasionally need them. But my only relationship to any of this stuff is hoping I have enough of it when it's time to level up. Same with gear, which I just slot in whenever it's time to make my overall power level rise. Weapons, armor, and accessories all have little nuances to increase things like crit rate and damage by small percentages, including set bonuses if you match pairs of items with similar set symbols. But this wall of text approach to equipment with tons of micromanagement is off-putting and not even very impactful until the endgame. I often just click the super handy quick advance button in the bottom corner that spends all of your resources to upgrade everything in a manner it deems fit, an option whose mere existence sort of makes a more damning argument against these overstuffed systems than I ever could.
Okay,
There
I think
are milestones.
this is a well-known problem with games like this. I think because it's a free to play game that is trying to cater to all types of gamers. It's not trying to appeal to just one type of audience. It's trying to capture as many people and get them interested in the game as much as possible. So what they have tried to do here is, I think, it has a loot problem like Valhalla did. You know, you're getting so much loot and you don't know what to do with it. And so same with like weapons and all that. But I kind of expected that would be an issue here, as it would be with any type of game like this. Honestly, it was kind of that much was apparent, and I'm fully prepared to expect that with this game. I didn't think you're gonna get all this stuff sparingly. It looked like you're gonna get bombarded with loot, and such is the case with this type of thing. And auto advance is definitely there for people who don't want to deal with the hassle of going through each menu item and manually uh, selecting things that you want, because some people don't want to do all those manual advancing stuff. They just want to keep playing, and I think that's why they have provided both options. It's in the menus, you have all these things that you have to manage if you want, or you can auto advance and skip it all that and then just focus on the game. I think that's okay, because ultimately it's a free to play game that's trying to get people to play the game, so they're giving more options than a typical game would. So ironically, what this is what Valhalla did too. It had a loot problem very similar to this one.
that frees your ability to continue leveling up at certain points until you pass what's called a breakthrough test, pitting you against waves of enemies that you must slay in a certain time frame in order to move on. These tests can eventually get tough, and passing raises your max level, but it then undermines that progress by also raising the collective strength of all of your enemies. Annoyingly, main story quests start to become level gated as you approach the end, meaning you have no option but to grind experience in order to eventually pass these literal DPS checks. And even when you do, a breakthrough test might require you to wait real life hours before you can move on to the next tier, as it did for me on 2 occasions, by gating my progress behind daily server updates, making me jump through a bunch of hoops to progress, only to tell me that I'm actually moving faster than intended, is ridiculous. Don't tell me how to waste my life.
That is weird. Okay, I'll give him
Riding
that.
across the windy shores, rolling hills, craggy mountains, and bustling towns of the Jianghu is a breezy experience thanks to your generous triple jump and wall running abilities, when they actually work. During every play session, at inexplicable intervals of time, these features will just inevitably stop working entirely, only to just be fixed when I log out and log back in. This doesn't make navigating all the mixed terrain a problem, but some hidden chests or activities that require these extra movement options are temporarily taken off the table for reasons that never feel good. Navigating lagging menus to sort out your gear, check the map, or level up your abilities can be a chore as well. Fumbling through sub-menus to click a tooltip so that I could read a further item description or find out where something was on the map was always a draining experience. The world of Where Winds Meet could have done with a couple dozen fewer of its random 5-minute mini-quests if it meant spending more time making the process of flipping through all of these spreadsheets less painful. You can play a lot of Where Winds Meet co-op.
Well, that's the thing with games like this, isn't it? Because you're expecting people to jump into the game and spend as many hours as possible buying cosmetics, and that because that's how the game is funded. It's not charging you to play the game. The full game is unlocked for you, and you can just play it free. But they're expecting people to spend so many time in the game and be invested in the game so they can sell you cosmetics and fund themselves that way. So yeah, that's why you have so many side quests and activities. You can choose to do them all if you like, or you can just focus on whatever that feels right for you. I mean, it's like some people love fishing, so they would spend a lot of time fishing, I guess. You don't have to fish all the time, though. You can cut back on that and actually play maybe other side quests, for an example. Maybe not the best example, but you know what I mean.
But servers were pretty scarce pre-launch, and finding people to run multiplayer-focused events wasn't possible. I did at least get to take on the big raid-style bosses thanks to a full CPU party option. These automated party members were competent enough to do the Simon Says required to minimize damage when necessary, but if they weren't basically immortal, I'm not sure they would have had the chops to kill any of these scary enemies. I'm sure my experience here is not representative of the design intention of these big co-op romps, but I'm still glad I could get access to the novel items they drop without having to find 5 of my own friends to do so.
Greetings. Look, we really don't have what you...
Perhaps there's a version of Where Winds Meet that isn't throttled by the storm of its own lofty aspiration. It has a great understanding of what makes wuxia such a compelling subgenre of fantasy fiction, bleeding into a vibrancy of its characters and the flair of its combat. But it becomes clear very quickly that the attempt to shove as many kinds of experiences into one game, open world adventure, action-heavy MMO, musical rhythm game, card battler, etc., only ensures that none of these elements reach their full potential. Instead, Where Winds Meet is an amusement park where every ride is being run at half speed, and the sugary treats at the concession stands come with piles of paperwork to complete before you can chow down. For more action, check out our reviews of Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment or Ninja Gaiden 4.
Alright. Okay, so they gave it a 6. They gave it a 6. I'm not sure what to think of that yet. I've seen many people praising the game. I'm on the Discord. I've checked the subreddits on this as well. And some people are like really praising the game for what it is, and they're having a lot of. They've said they've had a lot of fun with this. I've seen reviews on YouTube where people got early access to the game and had fun with it, but IGN gave it a 6, and I understand. I think it also depends on the person as well. So Jared Green may not be the guy who enjoys games like this, you know. Ultimately, this is, I have said this before. I have said that Where Winds Meet, although it's an open world action adventure game that is free to play, it is still always online, and it is heavily inspired by MMOs. It's a blend of MMO and single player. So you're gonna see a lot of those MMO elements in it, similar to, like, Genshin Impact, that type of game. And there is clearly an audience for that, clearly, and people who enjoy those type of games will be definitely into this too. So should it have been reviewed by someone who actually enjoys this type of games? Probably, but does IGN do that? Not always. So I'm not surprised that they gave it a 6. But I'm gonna be jumping on it when it releases tomorrow. I try to preload it, but it doesn't give you the option to preload it. So I'll jump on it as soon as it comes out and play it a little bit. I might do a stream, not tomorrow actually, on Saturday. On my weekend stream, I will be doing a stream. I'll check it out with you guys, and then we'll talk about it. And I can tell you how it is. I can tell you what it really feels like. We have Call of Duty dropping tomorrow as well. So I mean, just midnight in about 3 hours, it's dropping. So we have that as well. So I'll be checking it out tonight, and then I'll be checking this out tomorrow. Um, yeah, I mean the day after on Saturday. So yeah, kind of a heavy couple of days. So I might be a little bit late to the party. Do apologize for that, but yeah, yeah. Speaking of games that we are looking forward to, IGN dropped this trailer for a new game that is coming out. I don't know when it's coming out. It's the first story trailer for a game called Agefield High, and it got me interested straight away as soon as I saw the trailer, because it looked heavily inspired by Bully. Bully, for those who don't know, is a game made by Rockstar, same people who made Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. Kind of like a little open world high school game that where you play as a bully. That's the simplest way to put it. And it was a brilliant game back in the day. They never remade it or did a remaster or re-release of any kind. And I've been saying for years that we need another bully game, because that game was actually great in its own way. This feels like a spiritual successor to that in some way. At least that's what it makes it look like. So it's got a little bit of Bully, a little bit of American Pie kind of thing going on for it. Let's just check it out before I say anything else. So
it's the year 2002, and 3 friends decided not to leave
2002,
school as
American Pie.
losers.
Good morning, everybody. This young man right here is our new student, Sam.
There you
There's
go.
Hale Baines, the guy who thinks college is for chumps.
Ah, you're the new guy, huh? What's up?
Axel Philly, the wannabe rock star.
I got an F in English.
And you, Sam Tatum, the new kid.
So we can have the party, but my mom cannot find out. If she does, she'll go ballistic.
They made a plan to rock the last few months at school and leave their marks as legends.
They want to indoctrinate me even more into a boring fucking life and work 9 to 5 like some sort of mindless zombie. Fuck thinking about college, dude. We need to stick to our plan to rock the school.
But there's always something or someone getting in their way. Overbearing parents,
If you don't get into college, I'll throw you out of my damn house.
perverted teachers,
You messed with the wrong one.
nosy neighbors,
There are aliens in the forest, in the countryside.
not to mention Seth. The most popular guy at school whose life mission is to make yours miserable at best.
So you think you can move to my town, come to my school, embarrass me in front of my friends and ruin my party?
Sam, you have to go now. My dad's gonna kill
The
you.
voice
I'm
acting is
serious.
kind of weird.
But that doesn't hold these guys back from trying.
Whose panties
Yeah,
are
it's very
those?
American Pie. It's more American Pie than Bully, but it has those kind of similar elements
Saves the day
in
this
gameplay
rule-breaking
wise.
coming-of-age adventure. Explore a fully decked-out campus and quirky small town in this open world inspired by the early 2000s teen movies.
Do you really think you're the first students to try to get into my pants this way?
Her dad brought lipstick home from his trip to Mexico, and now they all look prettier than ever.
I might actually play this game, not gonna lie. Growing up as a kid, I loved American Pie movies. I shouldn't probably confess to this.
We drink as
I don't
much
think
as
you're
we
supposed to
could,
watch them back then.
go streaking to the girl we liked,
But we all watched them.
and then tell her how much we loved her.
Return to the early 2000s one last time. Age Field High. Rock the school.
Yeah.
Wishlist now on Steam.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about the game because it's just a trailer and it showed some snippets of gameplay. It looks pretty good. It looks, in terms of graphical intensity, it's not like that good looking or anything. But I think it's made by a fairly small studio. I think. Don't even know who made it. Studio. It's coming early 2026, so not that far away. And if you look at the Steam page, it's made by Refugee Games. Don't even know who they are. They made a couple of more games before, I reckon. Nobody really. I don't think I know any of these. But yeah, it's made by Refugee Games. So they made, looks like they made some alien horror type movies, games before. So this is like a very clear departure from what they've done before. I'll add it to my wish list. Yeah, I mean, having grown up watching, American Pie, Euro Trip kind of movies, this is kind of nostalgic for me. Yeah, it sounds old saying that, but yeah, I might give it a shot and see how it plays. It might actually be kind of shitty, who knows? But just for the nostalgia factor, I might check it out when it drops. But yeah, I thought it's a cool touch. It reminded me a little bit of Bully, a little bit of that as well. So that might be why I'm into it. Let me know what you guys think of that. Let me know if you saw the trailer and if you what you think of that. Alrighty then. Oh yeah. I saw this today morning while I was doing a bit of a look-see around the internet to see what's up with everybody, and noticed some cool stuff that, let me move things around a little bit so it is easier to read. Alright, let me show. Here you go. Okay, so yeah, so Weapon Bloom in Battlefield 6 and RedSec will be fixed next week. So, like I mentioned in my last stream on Tuesday, we already received a hefty, major patch fixing a lot of the issues that was plaguing Battlefield 6, including a lot of the exploits in some of the maps as well. So devs have been pretty quick to respond and patch these up, which is great. And yeah, they have already announced that there'll be another fix coming next week, fixing the Weapon Bloom, which has been an ongoing issue. Battlefield Studios has announced its latest community update that it will fix the game's weapon bloom in Battlefield 6 and RedSec next week. Can't find the comms here. They haven't put a link up here. They may have put up in their Twitter account. I haven't actually checked it. What is it? Battle comms. Yeah, Battlefield comms. Did they put it up? The local missile infantry has been re-enabled. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Here, the exact date for the changes will come on November 18th, which will also bring another multiplayer map, Eastwood, to Battlefield 6 multiplayer. Oh yeah, yeah. So this is as per their roadmap. The full patch notes for the upcoming changes can be found below. Weapon dispersion, bloom, fixes. We made a small tuning pass that reduces how quickly dispersion and recoil build up during sustained fire. Dispersion adjustments apply to all weapons, while most also receive recoil tuning. These changes make weapons feel smoother and more consistent, especially at longer ranges where we've seen players engage more often. We'll continue to monitor these updates and refine them based on gameplay data and community feedback. Amazing. Lighting adjustments, visibility upgrades. We've made further improvements to soldier visibility, particularly when transitioning between interiors and exteriors. Amazing. These updates enhance exposure balances. Oh my god, finally, to make enemies easier to see in varying lighting conditions. This would be a significant improvement to the game because we've had a lot of issues with the lighting in the game. Sometimes it just blinds you. Like you need sunnies to keep playing. We've continued refining visibility and related visual effects based on player feedback. Yep. Challenge clarity updates. We've refined challenge descriptions and tracking to make your progress easier to understand and follow. And this is regarding RedSec. More segments of Fort Linden will be available in Portal for creating community experiences. Aim assist adjustments. We've adjusted aim assist to make aiming feel smoother and more predictable, helping players build stronger muscle memory. Tuning is now similar to the open beta experience. As a result, infantry aim assist and infantry aim assist slowdown have been reset to match the new values. So try the update before making changes. Infantry aim assist zoom snap setting are only active in single player and portal experiences and not in multiplayer. Okay. Targeting the winter offensive update. Yeah. In addition to the new limited time event and new melee weapon, here's a quick peek at a few of the other updates that are in progress for winter offensive. Vehicle balance pass. We made an initial tuning pass to smooth out some of the biggest balance outliers between vehicles. Expect more consistent vehicle combat across the board. Breakthrough mode adjustments. Several maps in Breakthrough have been updated to improve balance and flow. Much needed. For example, Sector 1 in Mirak Valley now has fewer available vehicles and adjusted capture zones to help attackers make better progress. Amazing. I think most people playing Breakthrough in Mirak Valley have not been able to go past Sector 1. So this would be a massive improvement. Amazing. Rush mode. Updated aimcom placements in Manhattan Bridge and Liberation Peak to create smoother attack routes and more engaging objectives. Cool. Under review. We also wanted to highlight a few topics of conversation where we're actively exploring and testing changes. Map design and size. Cool. This has to be discussed. We have seen your comments about map size and pacing. Battlefield is at its best when maps offer different ways to play and constant action around every corner. Striking that balance is always a priority, and we are committed to a variety of map types across future seasons. Amazing. Okay. I have said that devs are going to listen to people about the map size issues, and they will probably take this on board and release more balanced, bigger maps in the future seasons. Looks like that's going to be the case, which is awesome. With Eastwood arriving in the California Resistance update, we will continue monitoring existing maps and modes for targeted adjustments like what's planned in Winter Offensive, while also learning from community creations in Portal. Yeah. Oh, UI and menu improvements. We are looking into adjustments that will roll out over time with the goal of making navigation more intuitive. Yes. From setting menus to equipping earned skins to discovering community experiences and more easily. Player stats, yeah, okay, hit registration. We're investigating improvements to hit registration. Cool. This work is closely tied to potential updates around time to death and time to kill consistency, as well as bugs such as something dying when behind cover. Sometimes dying when behind. This has happened to me, I can confirm. So yeah, good that they're looking into that already. Okay, and this is all red sex stuff. Cool. Yeah, massive update. Another massive update we're going to be getting next week, which is amazing. I'm glad that they're already looking into most of these and actually actively and efficiently fixing these out. A lot is riding on Battlefield 6 to be doing well, so I'm glad they're not ignoring the players and actively fixing these out. And you know, we're only just a couple of weeks into the launch, since the launch of Battlefield 6. I think a couple of more months, we're going to have a pretty solid game in our hands. Not to say that it's not good now. It's actually a great game. It's just going to be even better. It's probably going to end up being one of the best Battlefield games eventually in a couple of more months. Just give it a little more time. That's all I'm saying. Let's see how it goes. What do you guys think about these patches and these fixes that's going to be rolling out next week? Are you happy to see these come, or are you disappointed that they're changing this? I would like to, I'll be interested to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. What else? Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. It's been nice hanging out with you. I'm gonna go and check out Battlefield 6 tonight, right after the stream, a little bit. I haven't actually played all day, so it'd be nice to play a little bit. And I might actually do a little stream tonight at 12 when Black Ops 7 drops, and just jump in straight away and see how it goes. I also want to see how many people are going to be jumping in to play the game and check out the Steam DB charts and try to get a gauge on what the hell is going on with the game. That will be fun to see. But yeah, I'll probably see you guys tonight, midnight today, to see play some Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Tune in for that. And otherwise, I will see you guys again on Saturday or in the next video that you see me in. Until then, enjoy the rest of the night. If you're here in Melbourne, or if you're tuning in from other parts of the world, thank you for checking me out. Enjoy the rest of the day and the week if I don't see you again. Yeah, I'll see you in the next live or the next video. Bye-bye.
Alright, time to paradise. The underdog's running off. Baby! Thanks for hanging out for laughs, memes, and gaming clout. Even if I tripped, lost, or failed, you stuck around and that prevailed. We checked trailers, spilled the tea, mispronounced a game or three. Call of Duty fails, oh that's me, but the chat laughed along, pure victory. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage.
Attention chat, Jaybeazt is officially signing off. He may try to explain the plot of a game he hasn't played, argue with NPCs about story choices, or get stuck in the tutorial forever. And if someone says something wild in chat, he might go,
"Oh mate, don't say that!" Thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe. But thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe.